All right. Yes, dear ones. A meditation you can repeat, certainly so. A creative experience in the imaginal realm to begin that process of defining what dominion is for you, to gather those energies, the basic energies, and yet out of that to create something new each and every time. And so we have time for questions. We begin with Helen, we believe.
Yes. Okay.
Um,
Yes, ma'am.
so hi Tara. Um, I'm on my topic, as usual, in my next step moving forward to try and get my Nobel Peace Prize. That's my latest goal. Um, and I got very triggered at a dinner this weekend. And one of the things I realized was because I was talking to the Chris about it, and they were talking about the importance of staying grounded and on both sides is there was this, and the Chris was saying that neither the Palestinians nor the Israelis are to blame, and they're both right, and staying in that in-between space. I really, really, really needed to hear that the Palestinians aren't to blame for what's going on. It was fine to hear that the Israelis aren't either, or the Jews aren't either, but there's this huge weight that was lifted somehow, that I'm really surprised about. Um, so that was astonishing. Um, but the thing that I'm uh, really looking forward to is I'm now kind of moving into the phase of trying to raise money for the movie script and find a team. And I'm trying to figure out how to do it metaphysically. Um, and I would love some advice. I've always, I've done a lot of startups in my past, and I've raised millions of dollars for startups, for nonprofits, and I think it will be easy to raise the money for this. But you're not supposed to um, send out unsolicited scripts or ideas. You have to get an agent because otherwise it can create an IP dispute. So if I tell you my movie idea and then you create something that's kind of like it, I could sue you and we could get into a battle. And so I was just wondering if you had any advice on how I can do this metaphysically. Like, can I do it differently or do I have to, like, I feel like I can do it differently. At least that's what I've been assuming. And then, like, I emailed somebody from Sony Pictures that I met at the Sundance Film Festival, and she was like, love to get together with you for dinner. Do not tell me anything about your movie. I can't hear it. And so I was just wondering if you had any advice on moving forward practically, and also this thing about blame. Um, I just, it was so powerful for me. I was wondering if I can do something to help heal others, where we could just release it and not have to point fingers at the other side.
So those are two different topics,
Yes.
meaning the blaming and pointing fingers. The
Mm.
blaming yourself versus pointing a finger. Those are two different energies. So the one that is inward, where you took on the mantle of it must be historically my people's fault. There must be something inherently embedded in the psyche of the Palestinians that has them suffer so much. And at the same time, you see it in the Jewish population too. There must be something inherent in the culture that has them suffer so much. And so you begin to see the resonant match and how they can heal each other of that. Because is it actually true? Or is it a story, a history of a people's that has been written and has been lived? So as you
I can't hear you anymore.
Looks okay on this end, Helen.
Okay, now I can hear you. Okay.
all right, what was the last thing you heard?
You were saying you were talking about history. I could just not hear you for a little bit.
Yes. Okay. So the story of a people's, it's inherited. Each generation chooses what of the story to carry forward and what to end. As a map maker magician, you are here to end certain patterns. So shame, pain, suffering, and to bring forth new energies in their place. Where it's going to show up is in the world around you and what matters to you. So in what matters to you is your family, your culture, your people, and you belong to many groups. So when we say people, we don't just mean the Palestinians.
Right.
This applies to any group that you encounter and become a part of. The Quakers, your spiritual family, the Jews as well through Harry. So as you understand, oh, okay, how interesting. I've chosen a lifetime not where I am just Palestinian. I chose a lifetime where I am Palestinian American, and the American gives me the freedom to define who I am. It's part of my right. I made it easy for me to know that coming into this lifetime. I gave myself that permission. Now, others in the world might not agree that about what American is or isn't, but as you know from being in America, you understand, hey, if I can dream it, I can create it. I may not always succeed, but I have the freedom to try. Would you agree?
Yes.
And so that energy is also part of your map making. That knowing I can create something new. I can make a difference here. And so just hearing that the Palestinians are not to blame for what has happened. Well, there are individuals who took actions.
Yes.
There is a sect that harmed people. They are responsible. Absolutely.
Yes.
But that's not the Palestinian people as a culture, is it?
No. Yeah.
And so, and just as the Jewish people are not to blame for the retaliation, that makes sense for the tit for tat or the wanting to regain control or whatever it is there. That we're not passing judgment on what's happening. You know better than anyone what some of the actualities are. And at the same time, as a map maker magician, in order to change the world, this tit for tat needs healing, doesn't it? This, well, we'll just go to war, needs healing. Something many of you never expected to see in your lifetime, thought it was done with your parents' generation, is showing up. As well, hey, if nothing else works, let's just do that. And so it comes down to what resonances do I want to carry forward? And which ones am I willing to end? And this need to survive is at the root of any war. To defend and protect what you have already. And so in a logical way, it makes sense. Oh, well, we can't let them run over us. We have to defend what we have. We have to protect ourselves. And from a biological imperative, that is true. Because if you didn't have self-preservation as a golden rule, then none of you would still be here. Some other force would have taken you over in your infancy, probably. So you see, things have evolved so that you're no longer at physical risk the way that you had lifetimes where you were, where you'd come in and within a few years, some force, whether it was a natural force or a cultural force or a vindictive relative, whatever. There are many scenarios that could have happened, whether it was wild animals or weather and climate or earth movements or changes in state, the city state that falls as a new one emerges, empires changing hands. There hasn't been a whole lot of those reasons to change. And yet the survival instinct is still ingrained, just in case. And so it takes effort to remind yourself that even though out here looks like I should get triggered, in reality, I don't need to react from survival. I need to create something different. And so you've been doing that work, haven't you? And it has changed your sense of well-being along the way. It's like, oh, you mean I don't have to defend against a wrongdoing? I can have my thoughts, my feelings, and my position about it, and I can stay focused on a future I want instead. That's the strength that you've been building, is really envisioning a different outcome. Already, the talk of peace, well, it's a mixed bag for the people who have to live it. It always is. And yet it is progress. But is it going to be full of pain and shame? Or are you going to create a whole new level of peace that has pain and shame healed? So as you heal it within yourself, there's less of it out here. As you address it in yourself, not just this lifetime. The amount that's out here is way more than one lifetime. So you don't need to look to this lifetime anymore. You may find vestiges because of the genealogical impact, generational impact, that sort of thing. But there are lifetimes in other instances that each of you are here to also bring home. And one of the things that you're going to find the most challenging is when those in which you were the perpetrator those will be difficult Because what judgments do you have now about those who perpetrate violence? Who would reach for a bomb instead of a conversation? Who want to assuage their revenge instead of finding a solution? And then even deeper is the shame of being a victim. How could I have let the world get to this place? How could I not respond more effectively? And there's shame and pain there that even now can have you not say what you think or take an action where you get the idea and then you say, no, I don't need to take the action. It might have impact. I might get rejected. I might get too alone. And so all of this is going on in each of you. The intensity out here is for you to deal with the core issues that are in those lifetimes that are ready to be done with those energies too. It can't bring domination into dominion. What of domination do you bring forward? The important qualities. What is the luminous intent? To protect, to serve, to create something new, to resurrect something important, to know what matters, to know what you value. It's the means that are the problem. And so as you are creating new means to achieve at expressing what matters, then to take action in accordance with your will and your love. As you say, I want to now create the movie, and I'm being told how not to do it so that I don't lose the IP. How wonderful that your illusion is feeding you that information. Now, if you knew that already, and now you just want to create it differently because, well, I don't want to do it the same way everybody else does it, then you want to look at, am I making it harder for myself, or am I actually creating more elegance and ease? So notice we totally shifted topics because what we have completed the first topic. So as you look at what is my luminous intent for creating it magically? Now, your magic creates the conversation that brings you the information. So already you should be acknowledging yourself for, oh, wow, I didn't even consider that. And now I have before me a task of finding the right agent or deciding whether I can be my own agent. Those are really the two choices. And you see the rationale for having someone with a little distance present your work. And it's also a time issue. How many touches can you make individually in your current purview, so to speak? You have a lot of access to people, but are they the right people for your project? Are they the ones that will take it to the Academy Award level? So in that, what comes up for you as we say that? What are you noticing?
Um, so Harry has a very wealthy cousin who already told me that it will be easy to raise the money. And so Harry and I are putting a package together to send to him. And effectively, I've been told not to do it. And but I trust him. So we're putting the package together. But then we need, like, what instructions do we give him? Is he allowed to share the information with other people or not? Um, and so, but I trust him, and he's a very nice man. Um, but that would be doing it in a completely different way. Uh, and you've got to trust that he knows who to share the information with and who not to. He's part of the whole Manhattan super uber wealthy class of Jews and connected to Seeds of Peace people. And um, so, I mean, he could just fund it himself, actually, and it would be done. And that would be that. And we could get on with it. That's another option. Um, so I don't know. So I'd like it to be fast and easy and elegant, but with the right people that have the right intention and want to stick to that in between space and want to present both sides and don't want one side dominating the movie, the perspective in the movie. That's what I care about most.
Yes, and do you have that with the cousin?
I don't know him well enough, but I would say yes with him.
Yes. And so already your reality is giving you the indication where to go. Where is it easy? Where does it feel good? Does that make sense?
Yes.
So follow that flow until something else comes along that has you reassess. But for now, that is your green light, isn't it?
Yes. And we are, like Harry's literally working on the package, like proofreading and the package right now. Like I've got the draft done. And so he's literally at his computer at this moment. So,
Yes. And so
um,
now the question becomes, okay, I got this information about what not to do. What is important about that to you?
I think it sets boundaries, because normally I've been, as an entrepreneur, I generally think entrepreneurs make the mistake of they're worried somebody will take their idea and steal it, and they don't talk about it enough. But now I'm actually in an industry where apparently this is a very big problem. Or people are too paranoid. I don't know. But it's a new industry for me, and I'm learning the new industry. And so uh so I've always been relaxed about telling people my startup ideas, and no one's ever stolen one. Um, so I've not had that experience. Um, but I also think Hollywood is starved for good content. And there's a lot of boring regurgitation of old shows. And I think you have to create, when you're writing a movie, when you're ready to kind of get it out there, you create a 2-page summary of the whole thing and a 10-page summary. So it's called a treatment. And so I've done a mixed bag. So I've got like a 6 or 7 page treatment that outlines the whole thing, and the movies come out great. And so you could take my 7-page treatment and steal it and create a draft from it because all the important information of the movie is in the treatment. Um, but generally, I think most people don't steal stuff. It's too hard. I'm too far ahead of them. Um, so I don't tend to panic about this kind of thing. Um, so I don't know. I'd like to create a reality where I don't have to worry about it. I could just raise the money because I think people want the movie, and so I just don't think I'm going to have trouble raising the money.
Beautiful.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, so that is part of the metaphysics is to visualize the optimal future that you and step into that optimal future to see who is the you that has created that way and with elegance, with ease, with harm to none. So the you that has created it the way along your terms and has it had been elegant and easy and the support has been there and the green lights and the people have shown up who are there to assist and to be part of it. It's all there already.
Yeah, I feel like I don't really know, but my guess is it's the kind of movie where you need like a $5 to $10 million budget. It's not 100, there's no CGI. You don't need $100 million to make this movie. And 5 to 10 million is just not that hard to raise generally, I think. Um, so I think we could just get 5 to 10 million in commitment and then kind of backwards engineer it, like then get somebody to do the actual real budget, hire someone to put the real budget together, find the producers. I just think it could be done in a backwards order pretty quickly. That's what I see.
All right. And as you explain that, what happens inside of you?
I feel really confident.
Yes. Beautiful. And that's
Mm.
important information as you let that be the foundation going forward. Yeah, I have self-confidence. And you know what you want, and you know also what skills you already have and where you're going to need some help.
Awesome.
Yes, it is. And of course the the outcome is the positive impact that it has in the world.
Right.
Yeah. So just allow that resonance of that positive impact to feed you in the now, to carry you forward, to I know I'm on track because it's this resonance. This is what matters. The movie is going to bring this resonance forward. Is going
I
to
think that's
expand.
the shame and pain you're talking about. I think that's really core. Like last week I had this big success with the Quaker meeting, met with a Jewish minion. I stayed grounded the whole time. I think my energy led my little small group. It was easy, it was smooth, it was an elegant conversation. And then I had this dinner on Saturday with a childhood friend of Harry's, and it was really tough at the end. They were very aggressive with me. They didn't listen, and they were like, food and water is political, and it's the Hamas's fault. And, the Jews had nothing. And I think it's that, like, that's where my own struggle and shame came up. And I think it's that, like, and March 15th is when Harry and I are going to talk to our synagogue about come meet the Palestinian American member of synagogue and hear about their marriage. And I think it's all preparing me for that first Q&A that I'm going to have at the synagogue. That's building, it's all energy that's building as I'm birthing the movie script to make it a bigger energy. It seems like it's happening really fast now. Like almost every week there's something that's coming up that's building the resonance. But
Yeah.
I think this, like, it almost feels like there's this big, huge wound that came up on Saturday from this dinner with a huge amount of my shame that came up and got released.
Beautiful. Yes. Yes, it changes your perceptions to be free of shame.
Hmm. Awesome. Thank you, Tara.
Yes, we love you so. And we thank you for sharing your process. Beautiful. All right, John, who is next?
Nick.
Hi, you said Annette, right?
Yes, yes.
Hi, Tara. Thank you so much for taking my question. Um, I wanted to say I seem to be in an active ascension process, and I note structural change in my consciousness. I no longer have prior reference point. My consciousness seems to be from sort of a geometric structure outside of time and space. I want to know, is there a percentage of other beings who are undergoing these sort of changes, or is this specific to my lineage or star lineage, if you will? If you had any comment on that.
Yes, beautiful. Yes, absolutely. We want to validate your insights first and foremost, because it is difficult to validate something that is in the unseen. And so it's important to know, yes, you are on track. You're opening to the more real of you, the truer self, who exists outside of time and space, interdimensionally. And as you referenced, your stellar origins are the key. Absolutely. The you that is consciousness came into being as certainly so a spark of your soul. Your soul is eternal, and your soul is not something that you can uh, embody fully in a lifetime. We'll say it is perhaps the most direct way. So, as each of you do wish to embody more and more of your soul and the energy, the light and the love that is your soul, and that is part of your journey. There, all of your lifetimes are also on that journey of self-expression. And each lifetime has the opportunity to represent your higher self and your soul impeccably. This one, this consciousness that you are in this lifetime is responsible for bringing all your lifetimes home to that sense of wholeness and completeness that comes from knowing I created it all from the beginning. And I am never done, and yet it is complete. And so you are in that sense of understanding. As you say, you are gifted sacred geometry as a way of thinking of your being outside of time and space. And yet it has structure. How beautiful. As you reveal to yourself, okay, what are the facets of my soul? How do I use this geometry to connect with God and Goddess in new ways? Now, we use God and Goddess. Some of you prefer to use source energy. Some of you aren't willing to give a name at all, and that is all right too. It is the origin of consciousness that we speak of. And yet, you are beginning a new cycle of creating a new level of consciousness. To evolve human consciousness is part of your destiny. Those of you who are working metaphysically, who are working beyond the physical plane, bringing energies forward, remembering who you truly are, in the complexity of who you are here to evolve that consciousness. And each of you have your own journey, have your own focus, have your own way of working with the information. And so how beautiful that you have been gifted this stream of energy for you to explore as a mystery. This is unique to me. And you may encounter others who have a similar sort of process. And so valuing your own process and sharing it is the key. For you, that is going to be in itself a fulfilling journey. Does that help?
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. One other note, there seems to be a lot of support with what identifies as sort of an Arcturian energy, where they seem to be extremely supportive, not just as sort of architects, but assistants with sort of energy.
Yes.
Although I seem to be closer emanated from what I've been told is called the white, a collective or consciousness form referred to as that. But it's as though I'm remembering all of these things of reality. It's just coming back. It's as though you can't learn anything new. You're remembering what has been eternally. And like, will I find other people who are undergoing these things as well?
Oh,
I don't want to
yes.
sound insane to everyone, but
Yes, no, it is a process that is happening of conscious awareness of who you truly are. And so we do want to refine what you just said. And although this initial process is one of remembering and really owning and claiming, oh, this is who I have been in other lifetimes, and these resonances are true for me now. And that's why we speak of soul. The soul energy is eternal. The soul is the light and the love. And it is unique to you. Your expression of soul is unique to you. So in looking for who's like me, we want you to retain the knowledge. I am unique. So I'm going to find some people on having similar experiences, but I need to claim and own my unique experience, that it is all right to do that. It is safe to do that. The world has evolved enough that the safety is there for that self-expression. Part of what you are working through. Can I even talk about this? Is this too out there? Well, in some circles, yes, you're going to get some pushback where people just don't get it. They're not at that. They haven't awakened into their own understanding of their multidimensionality. But in this group, for instance, you will find like-minded individuals. Absolutely. There are many on this journey who are awakening now. And in the way that you are experiencing the Arcturian energy, for instance, work with them more intimately. They are here with a protective function for you. They are here to not only help you open up, but they are also holding the space for
yes,
you
they
to
are.
explore in. And so
They seem
before
to be
each
very
process,
much holding it for a lot of humans. We're holding the space so you don't kind of revert back, or they're
yes,
a powerful presence. But thank you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
yes, absolutely. And that was written, so to speak, by yourself and your soul before coming in. Hey, if I'm going to do this work in this lifetime, What's going to be there to let me know I'm safe? What's the mechanism I'm going to choose? And each of you have chosen stellar origins, archetypal energies, guides like ourselves, Lazarus and others, Abraham, for instance, all of those beings who are from other dimensions are here by your choice, by your invitation, as you allow yourself to let that in. Oh, I have done enough. I am protected. My higher self will not bring forth any information that is not for my highest good. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't choose to go into fear and pain and shame and all those negative things. You are here to heal your lifetime, so that's going to come up. But are you safe in your exploration? Yes, you are. Is it taking you to a new level of consciousness where you can have positive impact on this illusion, this physical plane illusion that is changing with you? So you see, as you change within, this out here changes also. That's how you know things are changing. Not because someone tells you you've changed, but because you make a change here and suddenly the information out here is different. And that's going to happen with increasing, we would say, tempo.
Thank you so much. That is definitely happening.
Yeah.
And also, intuition is coming from a different place where I just say it out and it happens without, it's almost a just knowing, saying something, and it just happens as is. There's no feeling about it, there's no projection. You just know what is. It's the weirdest thing. But, anyways, thank you so much for everything. You've really helped me a lot.
Yes, beautiful.
Thank you
We love
so
you.
much.
Yes, and we thank you for your openness and your
Thank you.
generosity. Absolutely. You're right on track.
Thank you.
All right, John, who is next?
Monica, but she's not here. Okay, Monica's not here. Then Nicole has a hand raised. Nicole, did you want to make a comment on something that's been said, or do you want to just be put on the list for later?
I'm looking for some clarification, understanding of some of the thing we're discussing. And since I've been working also, I mean, that's one of the things my higher self sometimes push me something. I've been working with embracing the wholeness of my truer self. And I think that's what some of it is what is being discussed there.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. And as a consciousness, to know that your conscious mind can only hold so much information at this stage, but with the evolution of human consciousness and the evolution of your brain, each of you are contributing to this, dreaming it differently, opening up to new information. So just as Annette is getting downloads, oh my gosh, it's just coming so quickly. And I feel it is true, and it is. And it is helping me know that I am evolving and I am more than I was. And so that you that has that knowing, that trusts the knowing, absolutely. Sometimes we refer to you the more. That's the you that is conscious and is connected. The truer self is even beyond that you that is orchestrating so much of your reality, meaning bringing forth without you knowing how the resources that are coming, bringing forth the experiences that allow you to be in line with your soul's destiny for you. And we say that not to say that you do not have a choice, but because you also know you are here with higher purpose to bring all your lifetimes home, for instance, to design the new world of dominion, for instance, to co-create reality as the next step, to be conscious of all your lifetimes.
This is what the further with my questions. How do we type, let's put it personally, how do I tap on this lifetime? As you were talking to somebody, like you said, most of it was negative lifetime where I was the perpetrator instead of being the good, and then to heal it. I know there's also talk about cosmic memory and to try to remember these things, but I don't know how to tap into this now.
So it's important to value what you have been gifted already, meaning the lifetimes that you are conscious of, and then to begin a ritual of establishing a protocol, you might say, with higher self and soul that says, look, if there's a lifetime that I need to know about that either needs me to do something or has a gift for me that allows elegance and ease to be a part of my journey, then I want that to be made known to me. And you have meditative processes, you work deeply with the unseen realm. And so as you value that skill that you already have and introduce this protocol, and some of you are much more interested in your stellar origins, for instance, than in Earth lifetimes. You can use this process for either or all. There is no distinction between, there is no hierarchy between what makes a lifetime spiritual. What makes a lifetime spiritual is your relationship with yourself and with God and Goddess or source energy. It can show up in a journey where you are seeking spirituality. It can be one where you were the spiritual leader. It can be one where you are simply a scholar or a scribe and you channel information through you and you don't know where it's coming from and you don't question it, you just write. Some of you have that or some of you who are the dreamers, where you go into a dream state and you create a whole new world. And when you come forth, you step into it. So many possibilities. And so, Nicole, for you, we suggest we call it a protocol because you can just insert it into what you normally are doing. And you simply say, look, if there is a lifetime that has something for me at this time, I'm ready for the download. I'm ready to receive that information. And then you want to create a way that you know that that information has come through. So is it going to be that you're going to write something down? Is it that you're going to hold a crystal and it's going to put it into that and it'll unlock in time? Or is it that your higher self will give you a message, or the dreamer will bring a dream? So you can be specific. Look, this is the easiest way for me to know the information's relevant and I should pay attention to it. And so whatever that is.
Yeah, I know some of the little things that my higher self does to push me someplace. Just like I'm talking about the truer self. I've been thinking about it and been coming, and somebody posts in Maryland a group, a whole thing about the truer self.
Yes,
and
the
I think to
magician's
myself,
way.
that's more, that's a shout to have to do something, have to go and do the PPV. And I started to do it.
Yes,
but
wonderful.
I also have sometimes it's just a knowing about lifetime. I know, I get an information about this lifetime, and then I, pursue some of it, and then I get more information.
Absolutely. Yes. You have that ability to be with the information and it just comes through.
Yeah.
And it's very real for you.
Yeah.
And then you need to lock it in.
Yeah.
Okay, how is this relevant to what I'm creating now or who I'm becoming?
Oh,
You want
see,
to
that's what
ground it into the here and now.
Mhm.
Otherwise, it just becomes a book on a
Exactly.
shelf
Yeah.
oh, that's nice that I
Uh,
remember
uh,
that lifetime.
I realize that because that's what I've been doing. I've learned even, I know even some lifetime I had a different, uh, that it wasn't on Earth, it was in a different planet. But I never pursued to go there to really find more. So now I understand I need to do, when I know about these things, I need to really pursue it and find more about it.
Yes, but in the context of who you're becoming in
Yes,
this
yeah,
lifetime,
yeah.
because you are here with a specific purpose. So, how is knowing that information going to help me bring my lifetimes home
Uh-huh.
to heal a particular resonance, for instance,
Mm-hmm.
or incorporate a new energy that I wasn't aware I needed yet,
Mm-hmm.
or that helps me be a better co-creator?
Mm-hmm.
So as you sort of refine the focus to what's important to you now,
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
and because yes, all information is available since 1994 when the goddess opened the vortex and all information came into your universe.
Mm-hmm.
You literally have all that available.
Ah, this
Yeah.
is another thing also. I've been working also with the at the Valley of a Convergence, the one that Lazarus has done. I've been working at with this meditation also of going to the valley and calling
Yes. And what are you noticing?
and really making the commitment to Earth. That's why I'm here now
Yes.
to do the things that I came to do for the Earth and with the Earth, not just only for the Earth, but for with the Earth.
Beautiful.
Hmm. Okay, and again, this is I just took it as a knowledge instead of saying, like you're saying, I need to investigate why I'm getting this now and
Yes.
how does it apply for me to who I am now in the mission I came here to do.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes, because as you're growing and changing, the input is different. It's growing, it's expanding with you. You're needing different energies now, different information than what you learned 20 years ago. The who you were then needed that information to become more. But now, 20 years later, or 30 or 40 years later, who you are now is much more about who you are becoming. And those futures you are dreaming, actively dreaming, that new world you are designing, that need for dominion to prevail. Goodness, truth, and beauty are
Hmm.
in dominion. And
And
so,
really, yeah. So this is what I've been saying to myself also when I see all the things going on. And most of it's talking, I don't want to go into politics, but about the esteem that I keep saying, goodness, truth, and beauty must prevail. We must know about and heal what went on and help healing also the victim. And then that this never happened again.
yes, to create the safety so that the pain can be revealed, so that the shame can be lifted,
Exactly, and heal.
is what has happened. As you have been healing yourselves, it's now showing up out here as people are insisting on healing. They are now feeling strong enough, good enough to speak up.
Mm-hmm.
And the accountability, which was often swept under the carpet,
Yes, yes.
is now being called forth as actually, if you want our respect, then we demand that you act with respect. And that is a new level, free of the chauvinism
Mm-hmm.
that each of you are creating by handling and dealing with and ending the chauvinism within yourself.
Yes, yes.
And as you let that in, oh, it's working. I have healed. And I can bring more light to allow more goodness, more truth, more beauty to be revealed.
Yes.
To literally transform the world. Because you don't want to stay in the victim and the punisher.
Well, no, yeah.
In that model. That's not the point of it. The point is for the victims to feel safe to reveal their pain, their sorrow, their shame, and also to demonstrate their journey of courage to change their reality. What it took for them to go from being silent to speaking up, and how difficult it has been for the world to believe them, and how painful that was.
Yeah, because everything it looked like the power, quoted unquote, is against them. Because it's all these big, powerful people who are doing those painful things. And therefore the poor person who was affected by it, not only just their shame, they were carrying the shame of the others too, as well.
Well, and yes, and that is what is being healed, is the giving back of the shame.
Mm-hmm.
When the shame is given back to the perpetrator must face the emotions that they put on the other person. And oftentimes you will find that they weren't the origin, that they had abuse in their own history,
Mm-hmm.
that actually has to go even further back.
Yeah.
And so when you do your global healing meditations, and you're working with shame in particular, as you ask the goddess to lift the shame, not just from this incarnation, but any generations back that need the healing, until it comes to the source.
Thank you very much.
Yes, we love you so.
Thank you.
Beautiful. All right. And so who is next?
Henry.
Hello, Tara. Thank you for being here and being
Yes,
here with me.
Yes, wonderful. Where do we begin?
I'm in a rather flat place, and I just came up with yesterday. Just was very going through my mind was all about resentment and the fact that I have to deny myself what I really. I've always felt I had to deny myself what I really wanted. In order to get anything at all. And just so much of that, and so much fear about still trying to get my cell phone fixed, and finding really weird people, and particularly one guy who can do it for me. He's just so angry with me, and then I realized that that's that anger thing which comes up, that my impact, but just not feeling I can move forward, and at the same time I'm seeing with the new energy of this last week that I can shift it very quickly between just letting it go and thinking and forgetting segment intended, forgetting what I really want, and when I do put it out what I want and actually say it, yes, I want to do that. I mean, I'm doing a bardathon thing where all the plays of Shakespeare and just tapping in, and I wasn't really getting very good roles. I was thinking, why didn't I just ask? And I was thinking, I can't do that. And so then I started asking, can I play this role in this scene? And of course they said yes. And just realizing, that always seems such a difficult thing to do when I'm not in my more real self. And I seem to be in my lesser self really quite strongly this last week. And just getting very dispirited, and I'm just wanting to just give up on it. And then I don't want to give up on it. Of course I don't want to give up on it. But and we've talked about this so many times, and I have, for some reason or other, I have less of a connection with my higher self at the moment, and a weird thing happened with today's Lazarus quotation about the soul and fear and pain, and working with the soul to deal with the fear and the pain. And I suddenly realized I've always had a sense that my soul disapproved of me, in a way. And I mean, here's my soul crystal, and it was getting lighter. It's when I first got it, it was just a clear quartz, and then it turned smoky quite quickly. And then the last 2 days.
Hey, Henry.
Yeah.
Can we pause it for a second? Katrina's having a coughing fit.
Yes.
All right. Yes, dear one. We apologize for that break. However, it was necessary to release some energy that have been accumulating.
Yeah.
All right. And as you also appear to be suffering from a bit of congestion.
Yes, I've been having coughing fits too, yeah.
Yes, just allow your higher self to receive some energy from us this evening to distribute to you as you sleep. All right. And so you were talking about how difficult it is, and yet you find yourself remembering to do so. So as you give that information a little more weight than you feel it deserves. So there's a tendency to say, oh, I'm not there yet. I'm not good enough yet. I'm not doing it right yet. But as you really emphasize instead, oh, I am remembering more and more. Maybe not perfectly, but I am remembering more and more. And now I'm finding that I have the thought to, why don't I ask for what I want? If I notice I'm not getting what I want, why don't I ask for it? And so that is an important shift in who you are becoming. You, the more, is stronger, is more present, is more available. And though the lesser self will always be available to you, the lesser self strategies are there by default, in case you don't remember to be conscious, in case you don't connect. But they are becoming less and less relevant. So, for instance, you mentioned some resentment, some resistance. That clearly is the lesser self, but at the same time, the meaning behind it was, I'm not going to get what I want. And the tools of the child, the tools of the adolescent, were not adequate to the task.
Right.
They were in an environment where they did not have the permission to have what they wanted. In fact, they were told, don't want what you want. Don't ask for it and don't want it. That will keep you safe. That will make us happy.
Right.
And as an adult now, when you look back on it, you think, well, that's kind of crazy. Just because they couldn't figure out how to provide it doesn't mean that I shouldn't want it. Just because it was causing them discomfort, meaning your parents or your teachers or whoever it was that you asked from, doesn't mean that I shouldn't be free to ask.
Yeah.
And as a reality creator, you're now understanding, oh, that is something I have to strengthen in me. The willingness to ask.
Yeah.
Because that got damaged when I was young. But I have been restoring it. And when I remember to ask, wow, I get what I want. Isn't that amazing? So you did heal the underlying issue. You did give back the shame that said you were not good enough. And now, free of that shame, when you ask, you receive. And so now it's more about, what do I want to create? And sometimes we admit it's a lot of work to always be on the ball, choosing what your reality should be bringing you. And so as you turn over that task from time to time to your higher self, say, higher self, I'm not feeling inspired today. Help me create some miracles, some magic that come from what you see is possible for me. And as you do that and give them permission, it also lifts a weight.
Yeah.
The responsibility is still yours, meaning you still need to respond, but it's okay to respond with, I need some help. I want someone who's more than me to intervene and gift me something new, because I'm at a loss. I'm dealing with this, whatever so right now, and I don't see my way forward. So I do need help to supersede what's so right now. And when you've done that, as you often describe, oh, I'm going to this place on Saturday, and I remember to ask for miracles, to segment and tend and create a sense of joy and conversations that are going to reveal some mysteries that I hadn't even thought of yet. And then you report back that, oh, it was just like that. It was even more.
Yeah.
And so it is important to continue to do that, not just on the Saturday,
Yeah.
but also in between, so that the week gets broken up a little bit, so that it's not a whole week of pause before you have that epiphany again, but rather every day, a little bit here and there, something magical has occurred.
Yes,
And
but basically, I try to make it something every day, but I seem to have got more into a self-pitying thing of thinking, I just want it to be done for me. I don't want to have to even think about it.
but in that resonance, what is important about the emotion in that? What's happening in the self-pity? What future are you actually thinking about when you're feeling sorry for yourself? Are you thinking about the one where you get what you want? Or are you anticipating one where you don't get what you want? We're kind of going to keep it black and white that way.
Yes. Well,
Like, if you know you're going to get what you want, do you feel self-pity?
I think it's been around this, trying to get my cell phone done and just not being able to get it. And I had my computer done, but there were a lot of things that didn't really work as a result of that. And so I was in this point of thinking, I'm not going to be able to get my phone done before I lose my number, and then trying to open that up, and I'm being able to open it up. But that's what the self-pity thing, I think, says.
So what future is the self-pity anticipating? The one where you don't get what you want, where your phone numbers are lost and you don't have a phone?
Yeah, well, my whole life falls apart, yeah. And
so by collapsing everything into the phone,
yeah,
there's no mobility. There's no ability to respond.
right.
Because if you make this incident mean everything
Yeah.
is screwed up, now you can't respond.
Right.
So when you bring it all back into, okay, here's the phone. I spent this much time on it today. And frankly, I don't want to spend any more time on it today. I'll work on it tomorrow. In the meantime, higher self, bring in some new energy. And you set it down, put it by a crystal which you know has good resonance, or maybe put it on a grid so it can benefit from a clearing of energy. Because these electronics are crystals. And so when you're angry at them, guess what they amplify back? Or when you're in self-pity, guess what they give you more of?
Yeah. Oh, I understand that. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And so you do need to intentionally clear them of yourself.
Yeah.
So if you have a tourmaline, or if you have a bit of sage, or if you just have, just bring in the light and poof, cleared. It's my intention to clear this phone of my own negativity.
Right.
I'm freeing it of being free. It is free to be a pure crystalline entity once more. And you will be amazed at the magic that comes out of those processes. Because you are magical, and it is all energy, and the crystals are here to help you. They are here by design, placed here by you, to help reflect back to you what needs to change. And so as you give yourself permission, oh my God, the reason it's getting worse is because I'm just focusing all the negativity on this little crystal. Poor thing's probably exploding by now. And so as you do a ritual clearing, just very quick, wave your hand over it, bring in the light, hand it over to the goddess, let her bring in the love, and then put it aside for today. You will find that that crystal can help you create something new tomorrow, or new in a couple of hours if you need it to happen today. Does that help?
Yeah. When you say that crystal, you mean the phone?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not a consciousness the way your special crystals are,
Right.
but it is a crystal, and it has the function of holding and amplifying energy, as all quartz crystal does.
Yeah.
It has that function.
Yeah. So. Yes. So just to see another outcome of it. I thought today I'd found the right person, and then I just read. So I was going to see them tomorrow with the phone, but then I just found a whole load of really bad reviews about this person, and I understand that's me. Just trying to say, well, nothing will ever work, will it?
But you do now have information that you have to respond to. So
Yeah.
if now there's a question of whether it's a good person to go to because of the negative reviews, well, trust the information you got. Say, okay, I'm going to keep looking for someone, but first I'm going to clear the phone.
Yes, right.
And I'm
Right.
going to ask for someone who is for our highest good collectively.
Yeah. In terms of looking forward, I'm kind of losing a sense of where I want to go. But then that's what you're saying, asking my higher self to bring in that information.
Exactly. Yes.
Right. Can I just ask about the soul that I was asking about? That I with the Lazarus's quote today about working with the soul to clear fear and pain. I suddenly realised that I have this thing about thinking the soul kind of disapproves of me, always rather has. And I'm just wondering about that. And I was just mentioning the crystal, which was clear quartz when I first got it a long time ago, and then turned into smoky. But it changes from a lighter smoky. Today it's a darker smoky, and so I guess there's movement going on with it all the time in my relationship with my soul. And
Yeah. So smoky quartz is, as you may already know, is about processing negativity
ah,
and
yes,
serves a protective function. The
yes,
smoky quartz does. So it protects you from your own negativity, but at the same time, it's slowly but surely grinding it away.
yeah, yeah,
And the more that it grinds away, the lighter it becomes. So when you find that it's darkened, most likely you've had something pop up that needs to be processed a little bit more deeply. And as you give the crystal permission, hey, I'm dealing with resentments or I'm dealing with anger or whatever, I'm intending for it to be released, and give that crystal permission to complete that process for you in such a way that's for your highest good.
right.
Now, as far as the soul goes, the feeling that you're in trouble is, we would suggest, indication that you're projecting parent onto your soul. In order to not be in a projection, you have to admit, oh, I'm stopped being open to what my soul really is.
Yeah,
And I've defined it as this terrible authority, punishing, rejecting, whatever those energies are. Sounds a bit like God in some versions of the Bible. It is not how your soul truly is.
yes, I'm sure, absolutely.
Yes. And so what's more important is, how are you judging yourself? At what point did you decide, I'm not worthy of the love and the light that my soul is? Wasn't my soul's choice.
Yeah,
It was mine. How does it keep me safe? And of course, it's not really true safety, because the true safety comes from the love, comes from the light,
yeah,
from knowing that you are a part of something more. When you disconnect, it suddenly, you're actually truly unsafe, and your fears tell you so, and then you go into the lesser self strategies of surviving. The antidote is to connect, reconnect. Even though I feel disconnected, even though I feel fear, I know I have a higher self, and that higher self loves me, even when I can't love myself. So I'm going to start with my higher self, because there's a stronger relationship there
right.
that you've spent years developing. And then while I'm connected with higher self, I'm going to say, you know what? I don't think I've been letting my soul be more for me. I think I've left my soul as this concept that doesn't have real value in the physical plane. So I've forgotten about the inquiry to experience the mystery of soul, because the soul, my soul, is what brings the mattering to my universe. So how I know I exist is that I matter. And that sense of mattering comes from soul. And when I disconnect from soul, I don't feel like I matter. I don't feel like anything matters. And that kind of answers one of your concerns, doesn't it?
Yeah.
which is, wow, why do I feel like nothing matters and I should just check out?
Right.
Yeah, because you disconnected.
Right.
And all there is to do is reconnect. Yeah, but what if I don't do it right? No, all you have to do is ask to be reconnected. Your
Yeah.
higher self will do the rest.
Yeah.
And then you go about the business of, how do I know? Well, I feel this way, or I have these thoughts instead of those thoughts. So how do I really know I'm connected? Well, I feel safer. I'm more grounded. I'm more present. I actually care about other people. That's a good sign.
Well, I do that quite a lot, actually, but yes.
Yeah, because you're not disconnected all the time. And it's easier in relationship with others to stay connected. But when
Right.
you get alone, then it becomes problematic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's where you need to strengthen your awareness of your higher self being with you always. Even when I'm alone, I don't have to be lonely.
Yeah.
Because when I go into loneliness or aloneness, I often become disconnected. And so you need to strengthen that pathway. And you're doing great. You really are.
Yeah.
As we
Can
said, when you feel too alone in your apartment, go out into the world. Walk the beach, walk the path, connect with people.
Yeah.
And it sparks something in you.
Yeah.
And that's important.
Yes.
All
Well,
right.
and
We love you, sir.
could I just ask you about, there's just another strand that has been running for quite a long time, and I understand it now that I just, when I'm thinking that maybe everything will collapse and all that sort of thing, I'm just thinking of all my responsibilities to other people for things, and I'm just feeling so guilty about that I haven't chased through so many of those things, and and then I'm thinking, well, I must do some forgiveness, and when I do forgiveness, it still comes through, but those those things are still there that I still need to deal with.
Yes.
And
And until you create a different illusion. Right now, you have the same illusion, the one that has you be responsible.
yeah,
So as you look to see, what does responsibility mean? And really get it down to it's not a burden. It's not something that only you can take care of. It's something you choose to respond to. You have the ability to respond. You have also the choice that needs to be made. And so between having the ability and the choice, where is your weak point? Is it in the confidence in the ability, or is it in the confidence in having a choice?
well, there just seems so much of it, and I don't know how to deal with
Yes, so
several.
this is the same pattern as
Yeah,
when the phone became about everything.
yeah,
So responsibility, be specific. Which one do you want to work on first? Yes, you have many, and yes, they're all kind of similar, but there's one where you have the most feeling, either most guilt, which can equate to shame, or most sense of caring, whether you act or not.
yeah,
So if it's a shameful response, I really should have done this a long time ago, and they are really suffering because of me, and I'm such a bad person. Ask your higher self to lift the shame so that you can show up and get the job done.
yeah,
If, oh my gosh, I can't believe they're still my friend after all this. I really do care whether I get it done, but I just haven't had the energy to do it. Ask your higher self for that energy.
Right. So a
I'm
lot
just
of
going to
it.
do the one. I have many, but I'm just going to do one today. And as you make those commitments, and one at a time, I'm only going to commit to one. I'm not going to worry about the other ones. I'm just going to do one. And I'm going to challenge myself to show up and find the skills that I need, hone the abilities, and get it done. Because if you make it about all of them, you will never do any of them. And what keeps you from doing any of them? Well, there could be a lot of agendas, hidden agendas. Well, it's not fun. I don't want to do it. Could be that, well, I kind of lost my skills and I don't know how to get them back, but I don't want to tell anybody that I've lost my skill. That could be there. We're not saying they are. We're asking you to look through what are the different reasons, hidden agendas for not responding. And it's either around ability or choice. If it's around choice, there's shame there because it means that you could have done it, but you chose not to. I decided I'm more important. I'm more important, but I haven't done what I need to do to extricate myself from a promise I made. And so then a reworking of the agreements has to happen. But
Yes.
you will never do that if you have shame.
Right.
So you have to ask the shame to be lifted first. So that you can know that you can have what you want. That you deserve to have a life that you love also, but not at their expense.
Yes.
You have to change the nature of the agreement. If that's where the core issue is. Does that help?
Yes. I mean, it's mostly about responsibility for websites and needing to pass the pass that on to somebody else too. And I just feel I don't know how to do that. But I mean, the companies that are holding the websites, which if I suddenly disappeared, then the sites would go down.
Yes, they need to be transferred.
They need to be transferred. Exactly.
Yes. If you don't want to do it anymore. Yes. So
Yeah.
ask
All
for
right.
some inspiration and it will come.
Yes.
Because first and foremost, you are a creative being. In certain arenas, you have much confidence. I can create anything. Transfer that same confidence to this situation. I can create anything. I just need a little inspiration, a little input from above.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful. All right. We love you so.
Thank you so much.
All right. And we believe we have one more.
Yes, Warren.
Hello?
Yes, dear one.
Hello?
Yep.
Can you-
Warren,
can you hear
us?
I'm back, yay. Well, thank you all. It's such an honor to be part of this group tonight. And yay, Henry. So much has changed. I was out of it after the meditation, so well into the discussions. And so much has changed. I guess now my point of reflection would be, so there's a lot going on right now, and I'm confronting elements of my environment that have what I think would be on the second tier, the lower end, fury, resentment, anger, but fury, where emotions are very strong and triggering my emotions in the process. And
Warren?
yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. Can you make your voice a little louder? We've got a lot of frogs back here that are drowning you out.
Oh, okay. Hang on. Make sure I have the right. Oh, here, turn this. Is it better now?
Mm.
A
Not
little bit.
really. Okay. Is it a little bit? Hang on here. I'm going to switch to.
How's this? Is this
Much
better?
better.
Much better.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. So, yeah, my headset was broken, I think. Right. So basically my question would deal with what happens when in the current state of affairs, seems like the energy out there right now, um, we run across things that are kind of adverse to what would be our highest energy, our highest self, I mean, our most positive self. And like what's come up for me is a lot of, I would say rage, but rage is on the bottom tier. It'd be more like fury, the way people are just reacting, triggering me as well. And I don't, I want to be in the moment, but I don't want to be reacting with responding back with fury. So is there anything what do you recommend to do at the moment to, I don't know,
All right.
shift that? Yeah.
So the first, 1 second. The first priority is your well-being.
Okay.
And so as you simply ask your higher self to lift anything you may have taken on from your environment, from other people in the environment, or anything you've been reading and engaging in, anything that is really not yours. And what you're left with is whatever is yours. So you still have your opinions, you have your reactions, you have your emotions, and those are very important. They're feedback mechanisms about what matters to you, about where you feel you can make a difference, where you think you have no ability to make a difference, the whole range. And so when you have lifted all of that, and then you think about a situation where somebody in the situation is furious, what is now apparent to you that was not before?
Okay. To answer that question, it would be, first of all, I didn't know the depth of their fury.
And is it directed at you?
Yeah. Well,
or is it at the world?
it's like the person is like dealing with stuff and looking for some place to focus the rage or the fury they're feeling.
Yes.
And I happen to be in the environment, and a target, right? They think, right? I'm not a target. I mean, I refuse to do that, but how do I react from that type of thing, right?
Yeah. So when you remember, this is not about me, it is in my illusion, so I can take responsibility at that level. But this is not about me. Their fury is their expression of something they feel out of control about, they're angry about, whatever. And as you simply see yourself step back energetically, and you have a shield around you, energy shield, that does not absorb any of that from the outside world. It's very important to know that you can shield yourself, that not everything is you. You are the creator of your reality, but 99.9% is through allowing. And so when you get back alone, when you're in a safe place to do so, you would then consider, okay, this is coming at me today. What's important about that to me? Do I understand? Do I have compassion? Am I scared? Does it come to me as dysfunction and triggering some old stuff? Do I feel like I have to fix it and make it safe? Do I just want to reject them and go away? What's my automatic response to it that needs to be healed, needs to be changed? Is it from my child? Is it from my adolescent? All of those questions are all very relevant. Now, in the moment that it's happening, you don't have time to do that. Instead, all you really need to do is put your shield up and say, oh, maybe I forgot to shield myself today. I'm going to repel everything that's coming at me. I'm just going to be calm. I'm going to be a good listener, but I'm not going to engage necessarily. Because when people are venting at you, they don't really care what you have to say. They're just
I noticed.
they're
I
just
noticed.
busy unloading.
Right. I noticed that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, if it's somebody who you're intimate with, somebody who you care about, now that's a different matter. Now we're talking about boundaries of communication. Where did the communication go wrong? Where could you have been more compassionate? Where could you have forgiven yourself in advance so that it didn't come at you? How much of what they're going through is your stuff? That's a different conversation, isn't it?
Yeah. And this is more. This is not about an intimate. Yeah.
Yes, we understood. It was about the world and the chaos that is out there at the moment and the instability that comes from the shifts and changes that are occurring right now. Systems are breaking down. What used to work to maintain a semblance of control is falling apart. So the idea that, well, I can just fix whatever's wrong, or I can just make them do what I want, or I can use domination and put a lid on any uprising, whatever the terminology that's being used now. All of that is in question and hasn't been for decades. It hasn't really been at the level that it is right now. It could have happened during COVID. It almost happened then at the beginning of COVID. But then the authority came in and said, no, we're going to deal with it this way and go home and just be good. And everybody did what they were told. And they were happy to do so because it gave them a break from that chaos out there. And then everybody had time to redefine what's important to me, what matters to me. And then after COVID, the people emerged again into the world and went about life differently than before COVID. New priorities intact. But there was still the issue of domination and other people being in the authority. So the question of authority and the chauvinism of the domination, those two combined, same energy tied together, are breaking down. It's not part of who you are becoming. It cannot go with you into the future. Any semblance of control that you thought you could keep, you cannot. This is not you personally, Warren, specifically, but everyone is dealing with this in your world right now. In order to get into the next phase of dominion, and that future is assured, it demands that you deal with in yourself the need to dominate. Dominate yourself and dominate others in order to survive. We talked a little bit about it with Helen around that need to survive, to do whatever it costs, whatever it takes, the ends justifying the means. And that's what you are not taking with you into Dominion. So you've got a world right now who doesn't know what do we do? This stuff isn't working anymore. We're bringing in strong forces to deal with uprisings, and they're still uprising. Don't they get the message? They should just be quiet. They should just go home. They should not attack or defend or have a voice. But the world has changed. And it's the future of dominion that is dictating the change. And as you really start making that connection that, oh, well, what's different in dominion? People are in their individuality. They have a voice. They value themselves. They're willing to stand for what they believe in. Their priority is love and compassion and caring. They're not going to be quiet and acquiesce to domination. As Nicole was pointing out, the victims, they're finding their voice. It's part of their healing process. It's an inconvenience to those who were the perpetrators, who have used the system to make sure they never had a voice. And now that's all topsy-turvy, and everybody's realizing, why don't they have a voice? If it were me, I would want a voice. Why don't they have a voice? This doesn't make sense. If it were my children, I would want my children to be able to say what's true, and I would want some kind of recourse. Why don't those people, when they were children, why didn't they have a voice? So you're starting to see an exciting, positive change that's happening in human consciousness. The individuality is being strengthened from within. As the shame has been lifted, the voice is returning. Now, some will just want to punish, but that isn't where you're headed. That's just one step. The telling the truth, the having the freedom to tell the truth is the first step. The second step is the forgiveness. I forgive myself for not speaking sooner, for not creating a world that was safe to speak in. I forgive those who took advantage of my fear and kept me small. Took both sides. It wasn't just one. Just as Lazarus has pointed out, if a victim stays a victim after they are freed, who's now in control? And so that's also an important healing that has to happen. So as you recognize the world right now is in a healthy outrage, and there's rage also, and there's systemic shame, cultural shame, systemic shame. In this case, it has to do with the system has failed. The system said it would always protect the weak, the vulnerable, would always hold innocence in highest regard, innocent until proven guilty, has turned into, you can't prove I'm guilty, and so I must be innocent. That's not true innocence. That's manipulation. So all of this is coming up for review. And as you choose dominion, and what does it mean to be in dominion? What are you free of? What is the world free to be in dominion? What is different? Because it is different. Free of the control, free of the chauvinism. Those are the main ingredients right now. There's much more than that that is going to change. But those are the overlaying energies that you came in with, bringing in the feminine. You came in with that priority. We're going to deal with this. We're not bringing this into the next one. We're going to heal it once and for all. And we're going to heal it in all our lifetimes. And we're not going to do a flip. We're not going to say the masculine's bad and the feminine is good and only the feminine is good. No, we need them both. But we need to bring the feminine back so that the masculine has true value. And together, those resonances create all that is. And right now, you're dealing with the fallout of the old having to crumble. And as with any system, it always wants a last hurrah, wants to say, see, you do need me, but you don't. And that's what you're up against right now, is those last gasps for power. You do need a war, they say. Well, no, we don't. We can do it differently. Yeah, but then I'm going to have to throw away all these weapons that I just spent a lot of money on building. Yeah, so what? Let's create it differently anyway. Because your way is the old way. And the destruction is too great to humanity and to the earth. And as Lazarus pointed out, the earth is no longer a silent participant. Earth consciousness is participating in the change. And as you work with earth consciousness, you can create something brand new together. A new form, a new consciousness, an evolution. Does that help?
Yeah, wow. Thank you. Yes. Thank you so much. Yes. Amazing. Thank you.
All right, we love you so. There's so much more we could talk about, but we get that you understand the fury part.
Oh, I get everything you said. Thank you. I think it was just perfect. Thank you.
All right, wonderful. We love you so. And thank you to each of you who spoke this evening. Each one an important component of what you are currently working with, of becoming more of who you truly are, more conscious, and also more open to receiving from that which is in the more real, from your unseen realms. The help is there. You designed it that way. It's not by accident. And so we go for now. We go with love and peace as we bring Katrina back. Until next time, we love you so.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Tara.